Hey there, welcome to Bible and History. Today we are talking about Homo sapiens. That's right, us. I thought it would be fun to do a video just about ourselves because if you have been around for our entire run, you probably know that we talk about a lot of different hominids, but not so much Homo sapiens. So let's look at where we came from, what we are, and why we are so gosh darn special. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What even is a Homo sapien? In short, a Homo sapien is a member of the species Homo sapiens, which quite literally means wise man. It was originally coined by Linnaeus in 1758 and comes from the Latin word sapere, which means to be wise or to have knowledge. We belong to the family Hominidae, which includes great apes like chimpanzees and gorillas. And until recently, we were grouped together with now extinct members of our genus, including Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, and Homo habilis. In terms of when and where we evolved, Homo sapiens arose in Africa sometime between 300,000 and 200,000 years ago. There has been a lot of debate on exactly when and how, but pretty much everyone agrees that all living humans can trace their ancestry back to populations in Africa during this time period. Sometime after 200,000 years ago, modern humans began to migrate out of Africa and eventually spread across the globe. The migration out of Africa is a hot topic of research right now, and there are a number of genetic studies that have attempted to help us better understand the timing and movement patterns during this initial diaspora. But the bigger story here is that we are all one giant family that originated in Africa and eventually spread around the world, replacing all other members of the Homo genus along the way. Now, this part of the story is really important because while some people try to use our differences to divide us, we are more similar than different. Our differences are superficial and our similarities run deep. Okay, that got real deep real fast. In terms of how we might define a Homo sapien, we are generally characterized by an upright posture, high forehead, reduced body hair, flattened face, and of course, our big old brains. Compared to our closest relatives, chimpanzees, we have much larger brains with a significantly increased surface area. It is thought that these characteristics, especially our brain size, set us apart from other animals and allow us to do human things like speak, create art, build shelters, plan for the future, and all the other stuff that makes us us. However, it is important to note that brain size doesn't necessarily correlate to intelligence, and there are definitely limits to our abilities. We aren't immortal, we can't teleport, and we still don't know how to fix a broken heart. So yeah, big brains, but we still got some growing to do. As far as how long we've been around, we don't actually know. We think that our species has existed for at least 200,000 years, maybe longer, but nobody knows for sure. And this is for a couple of reasons. For one, the fossil record is incomplete. We haven't found every single fossil out there, and sometimes it can be difficult to tell whether or not something is a Homo sapien or a different member of the Homo genus. Also, we tend to lose a lot of information when we transition from a living thing to a fossil, like we don't normally preserve DNA in the fossil record, so we have to rely on physical traits to help us sort everything out. This is fine most of the time, but sometimes it can be a little tricky. Another reason that it can be hard to pinpoint our origins is that evolution isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it's more like a bush with multiple branches coming off of it. This is called polygyny, and it happens when multiple species evolve from a single ancestral population. While there may be a few instances of this in our own ancestry, like the interbreeding between Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and Denisovans, we don't see evidence of it too far back in our lineage. The further back you go, the more likely it is that any potential branches have since been lost to time, so figuring out exactly when and where Homo sapiens first appeared is easier said than done, and we may never have a complete picture, but scientists continue to work toward answering these questions, and we are constantly learning more about our distant past. For example, in 2017, a study published in the journal Nature Communications reported the discovery of a 300,000-year-old Homo sapiens skull in Morocco. The skull, known as the Homo remains, was discovered in 1968 and initially classified as Homo heidelbergensis. However, a new analysis of the skull using advanced imaging techniques revealed that it had a number of Homo sapien-like features, including a tall forehead, prominent chin, and lack of brow ridge. The study's authors concluded that the Homo remains likely represent a new member of the Homo genus that falls outside of our current classification system. They proposed the name Homo sapiens idaltu, which means older wisdom. While this particular classification hasn't gained widespread acceptance within the scientific community, it does suggest that our origins may be older and more complex than previously thought. There are also other hominins out there who share a significant amount of genetic material with us, such as the Neanderthals, Denisovans, and the recently discovered Homo luzonensis. These hominins provide a unique window into the complex evolutionary history of our species and highlight the interconnectedness of all living things. By studying them, we learn not only about ourselves, but also about the broader story of human evolution. And speaking of Neanderthals, they actually used to hang out with us Homo sapiens pretty regularly, and there's some evidence to suggest that they even helped us out from time to time. There are a number of theories out there about why they went extinct, but the jury is still out on what really happened. Some people used to think that we killed them all, but recent evidence suggests that we didn't arrive on the scene until after they were already gone. So sadly, whatever happened to them happened pretty quickly. Today, we are the only surviving members of the Homo genus and arguably the most successful species on Earth. We have spread to every corner of the globe and managed to adapt to a wide variety of environments, from the frozen north to the scorching desert. One of the things that has allowed us to be so successful is our ability to innovate and solve problems. We have developed tools, technologies, and strategies that have allowed us to thrive in a wide range of environments. For example, our ability to create shelter has allowed us to stay safe from the elements and predators. Our ability to develop new technologies has allowed us to do things like farm the land, travel the world, and communicate with people across vast distances. And our ability to work together in groups has allowed us to accomplish things that would not be possible for a solitary individual. We are truly a remarkable species, and our success is a testament to our ability to adapt, innovate, and work together. However, with our success has come a certain amount of hubris. We have often seen ourselves as superior to other animals and have exploited natural resources for our own benefit without regard for the consequences. We have also engaged in wars and conflicts that have resulted in the deaths of millions of people, and we continue to face challenges such as climate change and resource depletion that threaten the very planet we call home. As we look to the future, it is important that we remember that we are not invincible. We are not above nature, and we are not immune to the consequences of our actions. We must learn from the mistakes of the past and work together to create a better future for ourselves and the planet we call home. So that is a very short history of Homo sapiens. You could make an entire series of videos on just us and there would still be more to talk about. So if you like this video, let me know and we can do more like it. Remember, this channel is all about sharing the love of science, and I love that you are here sharing it with me. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. See you again on my next video.